Hi YouTube, this is Amy at Hoppachuck Creative, and I have a new an art journal page to share. This one, I think I'm going to title something like Natural Elements or Elements of Nature. I've been working a lot in my journal, and I'll just show you some of my previous pages. Well, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use paint, like this is from obviously some Punchinella that had paint left over on it, and so I try to stamp a page with color that's left over. And quickly I'd like to show you, because I've just been tending more towards this type of layout. I don't know how much detail you can see, and I've got my wax paper between the pages here to protect from paint drippage and stuff, but I had splattered on some homemade black gesso, and then I embossed with, I'm experimenting with kind of making my own version of Frontage encrusted jewels. I'm on a spending freeze. I'm still going strong with that. That along with Scrappina Creations and 311 Vandal and Serena B, and a lot of other crafters on YouTube are taking part. And so, as you can see though, I've been doing a lot of like really earthy looking pages. This one used a salt technique. These 4 pages actually all incorporated. I think this might have been the only one that I didn't use the salt technique on. But you can see some of the texture and detail in there, and that's just from blowing around gesso and Lumiere paints with my heat tool. And this one over here just kind of has a rainbow theme, but it still looks earthy to me and vibrant. This is a stamp testing page, and I had gessoed it and then just kind of wanted to see. Looks like I used some embossing powders up here too. Wanted to see how different stamps did with different inks that I have in my collection. Bottom left hand corner, some of the Tim Holtz Distress inks. Looks like I used walnut stain and aged mahogany. This is a stamp that I want to work more with. This is from Deep Red Stamps, and it's a cathedral, and it's so gorgeous. I've already done a couple of projects with it, and I started this one. I don't know how much the light can really pick up the glimmer on the page, but I stamped with the Memento Tuxedo Black, so you can really see the cathedral arches in that one, and then a natural looking glimmer misted background. So in keeping with the whole natural theme, I had started this page today, and excuse the camera being bumped around. The only way I have figured out, by the way, so far to get around the whole working around a tripod is to stand up when I'm doing tutorials. So I still might bump it. Still could totally happen, but hopefully this will help me and I can see better what I'm doing and kind of grab tools and things more easily than if I'm trying to work around the tripod. So basically, I've been inspired to make a lot of stuff at home, being on the spending freeze. I've still got about 6 weeks to go, probably. April 11th is the day that I had set for myself to be on the spending freeze. And I did make myself a $10 allowance each month, and that's supposed to be for essentials. And when I say essentials, that's things like paper, which I don't imagine running out of anytime soon. But I will just give a huge shout out to Diane Reevely again. This journal, I got it for Christmas. it's her visual journal, which is harder to find actually than her Dylusions journals, I've noticed. I had gotten it through Amazon on just going on the wish list and making up a wish list, and my mom had gifted me this for Christmas. I believe it's a 9 by 12 journal, and I've altered the cover, so I don't have the details of the journal anymore. I do know that the paper is made by Strathmore. This paper is fantastic for mixed media artists and anyone who does watercolors or a lot of water-based work. This is just, I cannot believe what this paper will stand up to. It's 140-pound pressed, I believe cold pressed watercolor paper by Strathmore. And I'll definitely be getting either this particular journal again or more of Strathmore's of that line, because I've been amazed by how much I've been able to spray and respray and use water and use alcohol, acrylics. I do gesso every page, and I know that helps with sturdying up the paper. But on some other papers that I've gessoed before, they still will really warp. And as you can see, this one has already been generously color sprayed. What I did today was I mixed up, this was inspired by Lovely Scrappins, Leanne at Lovely Scrappin, and I will link to her channel below. Excuse me, I'm sorry, this is from ehow.com. I just was looking for ways to make my own color washes, color sprays, things like that, because I can't spend money on stuff right now, obviously, with the spending freeze. So these are what were actually inspired by Lovely Scrappin. And she had a set of doll pins. I just used clothespins because that's what I had on hand. And then she rubber banded, where are the little cosmetic, these I had gotten from the dollar store. I'd had these for quite a while. I mean, they're useful in so many ways. I haven't really used them for cosmetic reasons. I've used them more in art because they're great little dabbers. They're just called cosmetic wedges, and I got them for $1, and there's 28 of them. And so, as you can see, I just wrapped each clothespin with one of those wedges and then rubber banded it real tight to make my own little daubers. And then I labeled them. So this is going to be the Broken China for the Tim Holtz Distress Inks, Dusty Concord. So I just put, I believe I have like 8 or 10 Tim Holtz Distress Ink pads. So I made a dauber for each one. And these are so fun and cute. I mean, this is an adorable way to not only save money, but I just think they're so cute. Like, and hers were too, with the little doll pins, and she had more rounded wedges that kind of, these are sort of like an oval shape, but I mean, once you're dabbing the ink on the paper, it really doesn't matter. You just kind of start to twirl it around and twist it in to the paper, and it works great. So ehow.com. I knew there was a way that I could make some spray mist using food coloring. They recommended using distilled water. I didn't have that on hand, but I do have filtered water here at the house, so I just used the filtered water, filled it up about, right about there, and just gave, I don't know, this is the blue one, and I think I did about 15 drops of blue food coloring. This one is purple, so I did 10 each of red and blue drops, and I'll just lightly show you. I wasn't able to get a real true purple. This is more of a brownish purple. I still like it. It's fine. I just would like to figure out how to get a more true purple. Because as you see, as it's starting to dry, it definitely comes out brown. And I didn't add any other colors to it that would give it the mud effect, but it just came out that way. So, and I've run out of spray misters. I had bought a pack of 12 last year, and I've made lots and lots of glimmer mists, so I have a lot of those that I've made and I use. So I did have this this one that doesn't have a spray mist bottle. It's just one of the open top, like a cosmetic thing that you would take. Oops. Okay. So some ink just splattered out onto these little tiles over here that are going to be going on the page. Okay. So this is a greenish blue that I just kind of wanted to experiment with. And didn't take a whole lot of green. Ooh, okay, that was a nice, generous amount of green there. To give it that kind of green-blue effect, I used way more blue than I did green, but as you can see, it came out, yeah, blue-green, I guess, is the best color for that. I mean, the best name for that, because it's not really turquoise. It's a little bit too deep to be turquoise. Down here in the bottom right is where I just misted the just straight blue color spray used with the food coloring. So this was really simple to create this background. I just laid down a nice thick coat of gesso. Sometimes I paint it on, sometimes I use like a scraping knife. I usually have better luck with gesso with the paintbrushes. I get with the scraping knife, it just gets really sloppy for me, and the gesso just kind of drips everywhere. I feel like I have a lot more control when there's a paintbrush. That's just personally. And then I just misted, like I was telling you, various parts of the page with the homemade spray mist. And then I went in with some of Tim Holtz's Distress Inks and used the little bobbers, and like here's worn lipstick, and I created some of these little areas and sprayed them and just got, you know, kind of picked up the book and moved it around and, you know, just made some nice splotchy, natural, backgroundy looking things. And I wish I could remember where I got these chipboard stickers. I got a whole bunch of them, and I remember I got them at a really good price, and I still have them. I don't know the brand, unfortunately, but they came in a pack of 4, I think probably 4x6 boards, just packed full of different flowers and leaves, and this one's, I love this one. And so when I punched those out, you'll see that I can use it as a stencil as well. Let me see if I can find one of them real quick. Okay, here's the one that I had completely punched out. So I haven't tried using this as a stencil or a mask yet, but I definitely will. It's pretty thick chipboard, cardboard, and what I've learned with, you know, paper-made stencils and masks is that the more paint that goes on them, the more acrylic paint, the sturdier they get. They'll get gesso on them, and they usually hold up pretty well over time. And so that's a handy tip for, you know, making your own stencils and using things that you already have. So this came from that same collection of chipboard stickers, and it just says bloom where you are planted, and just a cute little round sticker. So I thought I would start there with my background today. I have some different things that I'm going to be incorporating. This is some King Company paper that I had on one of their paper stacks, and it has wood grain and these really pretty flowers that sort of look, they give it sort of a bleached effect. And then, like I mentioned, I want to incorporate some of these mosaic tiles. These are light pink and shimmery, and they are by I wish I was a little more prepared, but I always think I'm prepared and then I'm not. Amanda Blue or AB Mosaics. And I think I actually found these at a home store, so, but they are adhesives. They have a sticker back, and so they'll stick down to the page, and I might play around with some alcohol inks on those too. And I also always save from packaging if I have any type of gold foil or metallic foil from any sort of packaging. Usually chocolate. That's usually where I find it. I save it and then I can put it into projects, so I'll be using some of that today too. So I'm going to get everything ready here and come right back and we'll start the tutorial.